Hello! Welcome back to Charge Track. I'm Ian Johnston and today we're talking about injuries. I've recently dislocated my thumb and broken a rib falling off on some logs. It happened. So let's get that out of the way. I was riding some natural, so I rode some rocks with Dan Jones. We went over to some logs near Highcliffe, which is quite fun to play on. And I was riding like a log, a fallen tree type thing. It was quite bumpy and windy. I could get across it and then jump across to another log, but I wanted to make the line better, so I thought, maybe I can go faster and hop over the last log. I thought, no, I can't pick up enough speed on this, it's too bumpy. And then I decided I was going to pivot at the end and try and swap to rear wheel on the second log and then like 180 off, because then that'd have something about it. So I was trying to do that. I kind of did it slowly and worked it out, and then went to do it properly on camera. And just as I got to the point where I was throwing my weight over the front and pivoting the back wheel, then my front wheel slipped off the side of the log. I've obviously stuck my hands out to stop myself. Ended up in a heap on the floor, and Dan was like, "You all right?" I kind of went, "Oh yeah, I've got a bit of a scratch." Oh no. The thumb was all not the right shape, basically. The joint here had popped out. It's the CMC joint I've dislocated, and it was locked straight. So been to A&E, had it looked at, and now I'm stuck in a cast for a bit. If you did want to see the crash, I've got it on camera, so if you're squeamish, don't watch this, but this is me falling off some logs.
Okay.
But that wasn't the point of today. The point of today was to talk about injuries. So I caught up with another rider who's recently injured himself, Iwan Osborne, to see how he's coping with it and how he's doing. So here it is. Hello, fellow injured rider.
Hey, dude.
Whereabouts in the world are you? You do live in Wales, don't you?
Yeah, I'm from Wales, little seaside town called Tenby. Right on the coast. Yeah, it's a proper like tourist destination. Pretty sick place, to be honest with you.
Yeah, good for riding as well with the rocks and that.
Yeah, riding's pretty good with the rocks. Yeah, gets busy in the summer, but all street none really. But in terms of places to go for rocks, there's not many better. Like I got about 4 or 5 locations within about 4 miles of my house, 5 miles.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, right across like the coastline. It's pretty good, man.
Yeah, I've been getting into riding rocks actually, because I've got Highcliffe just up the road here, and then just after that there's Barton-on-Sea, and Barton-on-Sea is pretty good for riding as well. There's a lot of rocks along the seafront there.
You just have to think about it more, don't you? Which is fun.
Yeah.
Like for me, I can't ride street unless I'm like inch pinching, and I get mega stressed out, man, because I'm like, I done that a week ago and that was a PB. Why can I not do another PB or whatever?
Yeah. So, in your head, your level's there, and you're like, well, I'm there now. Why am I not?
Yeah, we all know that like with trials that literally go in another like quarter of an inch is another couple of months' work. But like you're thinking, well, I done that easy a week ago. Why can I not have 3 inches on top or whatever? And it gets great.
So, what have you done to your foot or your leg, should I say?
I've snapped my fib, which is like obviously the outer bone. On the inside band of my ankle, I've pretty much like given it like a hairline fracture and a little chip there, and I've mashed up all the ligaments on the inside of my ankle.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, proper job. But when I done it, I went and like just cleared the ball out playing football, like slide tackle. My foot got stuck in the ground, and as my foot got stuck in the ground, all of my weight went onto my ankle, and it just rolled at 90, and it was stuck in the ground at 90 degrees to my leg. When I pulled my leg out of the ground, like it just like popped and slung back like a slingshot.
Oh yeah.
So that was when I was like, this is go time. This is hospital trip. This is a bad one. Yeah, pretty much, man. As I was like going to the car, my ankle was just like flopping around like that, just like loose. I could feel like my fib just full on, like there wasn't anything there.
Were you panicking or were you pretty chilled about it?
I was chilled at first. Like, and to be honest with you, Yeah, I was just like so off my head on adrenaline. Like I've just seen my ankle be round at 90 degrees.
Yeah.
I was pretty reasonable, to be fair. But then I started thinking, oh my God, what have I done? But all right, really. Like, I think just as trials riders, you end up toughening up a fair bit. Like, it's quite
Yeah.
common for you to get absolutely nailed by your pedals a couple of times a week. So when you start smacking yourself up, it's normally like, oh okay, that's all right.
Yeah, you're kind of accepting of it all.
Yeah, like the football boys can't understand it. How like, oh, why are you not like in pain and all from that? I'm just like, mate, my other sport, you're getting battered. Like you're either like falling on your hands or you're getting like little cuts and bruises and all. Like it's such a sport where you've almost just got to accept that you're gonna get some sort of pain, haven't you?
Yeah. Even just if everything's going well, then the pain's going to be all your muscles really hurt, or
Yeah,
all the bits where you've hit your knees on the stem or your thighs on your bars, all that. At some point, you're going to be covered in bruises, and that's because things are going well. So as soon as you fall off, then there's going to be little scratches and
mate,
bruises.
literally, that's it. Like literally across my stomach, I had to get one of those you know those pads to go on your stem.
Yeah.
I had to get one of those because I was literally coming home with cuts and bruises across my stem just jumping around. And like I was making the move and I was still coming home cuts and cutting up football like that.
It actually hurts when I laugh a little bit. I cracked a rib on this side, so it's the deep breathing hurts.
I was gonna say no laughing or coughing and sneezing either, dude.
Oh, I sneezed this morning, and it was the weirdest thing. I was obviously trying to suppress it, and it still came out, but I didn't really sneeze, so I just kind of went.
Oh man, that's brutal.
But I was kind of thinking that um, you've obviously had quite a few injuries in the past. Just I can tell just because your attitude towards being injured, and like you said about the injuries you get through riding anyway. But I could tell that there's probably a lot of maybe younger riders that haven't been injured much, and you can imagine that the first time they sprain their ankle or they break a bone or something, it's like the end of the world. And I kind of wanted to get that across from people that have injured themselves a bit more that it's not the end of the world. And there's a lot you can do that's going to contribute towards riding. If riding is your passion, there's a lot that can be done whilst you're not on the bike to allow you to be able to ride more when you can next get on the bike.
Mate,
Um,
totally. Like I got a good friend who's a physio and like I've already started like exercising like just around the area to make sure that when I'm able to walk in like 8 days time in the cast, but I've got strength in the leg.
yeah,
Just little stuff like I'm watching what I eat. I'm trying to drink a load of milk and I'll keep all the calcium levels high. I just
yeah,
trying to
exactly.
make sure everything is spot on. So but when I can ride the bike, it's the only thing holding me back is me, not I haven't put any work in or whatever.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Trying to put in as much work as you can as it allows so that when you're there,
Yeah,
you're starting on the back foot kind of thing.
yeah, man.
Yeah. So have you got, do you know yet how much time it's going to be and what your recovery is, or is it still unknown at the moment?
It's a little like unknown right now, but in 2 weeks, rough. Well, it's less than 2 weeks now. It's like 9, 10 days. On the 7th, I'm going back in, and all being well, I have the cast removed and the stitches, and I get put in a boot,
Oh,
and then
yeah.
I can walk then in the boot for 4 weeks, and then that plus physio going on at the same time. I should be somewhere near being able to not like I won't be able to go like biking and all, but I'll be able to go like walking and maybe like a jog or like that will be like the beginning from there then
Yeah.
like of like rehab then as such.
Yeah.
So like realistically, I think I'm not going to be riding for about 2.5, 3 months. And even then, I think I'm going to have a month of biking where I'm like, right, don't even try anything big. Like it's just going to be curbs and like little stuff and just working, getting it all
Yeah.
moving again.
Really ease back into it and that.
Yeah, which is, I think that's going to be hard just because it's like anything with trials. If you know you've done something that size, you don't even think you're doing anything, do you? You're just like, you want to be doing your best all the time.
Yeah.
I think that's the thing with like the sort of trials that I ride is like you're always trying to. I'm not saying that the street riders don't, but you can have fun on a curb with what you're doing. You can get proper creative,
Yeah.
Whereas for me, I'm thinking, right, if I do that gap 2 inches bigger or an inch bigger, when it comes to a competition, that makes my life so much easier. So it's
Yeah.
everything is just trying to go bigger or more technical or whatever. Like that's going to be the hardest bit because I don't know whether when I come back, whether I'm like just like jumping up a curb and that's hard enough.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean because I've been there before and been riding, but knowing that I can't try anything which has got any risk in it. I'm trying to keep everything really risk low and ease back into it. And you've still got that kind of, oh, but I want to be doing this and I want to be doing that. But I do think that exactly what you were saying about street riding. I think that the reason I've stayed passionate about riding for so long and I've not really lost that interest is because all the riding's always completely different. And I will go out, and the other day I sessioned a skate park and I wasn't actually riding a skate park. I was riding this bit that was this big and there was a space and a bench. And that was what I ended up sessioning. And I really enjoyed that. And it was weird because I do sometimes go out and just go like, no, I need to make sure I got my timing right from my bunny ups to rear because I just keep messing them up. And I know I need to practice that. Whereas that was just another day where I had some music in and I was just practicing some little creative lines, and I got so much more enjoyment out of that than like a few other times I've been out riding.
Right, totally. Like I think probably the closest thing I could like relate to that is like I got like a lock up, like a barn. So I
Oh
could
yeah, I've seen the videos through the winter.
yeah, so I could like practice over winter. And like we got like just balance beams and like the amount of fun you can have on them. And like you're not
Yeah.
going big, like this balance beam's like 4 inches off the floor. And I've been there for that. Like for that. Like that thing will defeat you if you're not willing to.
So that was one of my questions actually. So how big is riding to you in your life? Like is it something you do every now and then, or have you got like proper riding goals, or is it just like you like doing comps, but and you want to take it like semi seriously, but you've never got any like big goals, you just really enjoy it? How do you describe riding for you?
To be honest, dude, like always before it was always just like a bit of a laugh. And I was like, I'd go through stages where I'd be like semi committed and I'd ride like 2 times a week. And then it would go through a stage then where I wouldn't touch my bike for 4 months and all. It totally doesn't help that the scene in Wales is awful. Like, um, my nearest riding friends are like an hour and a half away.
Right.
Like, that's the nearest people I can ride with, which is like John Shrewsbury and like Luke Jones, Dave Keir and all. So
Yeah.
like, just I get people are like, oh, it's only an hour and a half, but like when you want to ride every time and you've got to travel an hour and a half to go meet people, like that's why I ended up playing football again. Like I can go travel like 10 minutes down the road and go play with all my mates, and
Yeah.
it's like it doesn't cost anything, and like I can't. Okay, yeah, I've broken myself this time playing football, but like you're not. You haven't got like 1,000 odd pound bike, which you're like thinking, oh, if I break that, that's 300 quid or whatever. Like it's such
Yeah.
a sport and like that. But when lockdown came in, they stopped team sports and all like that, so I wasn't able to play. And I was just like, oh well, this bike's just looking at me, and I got put on furlough. So I started riding every day because like at the beginning it was a like once a day sort of like leave your house and sort of
Oh yeah, for an hour kind of.
yeah
Most people thought it was an hour kind of thing. Yeah.
yeah. So like it started at just like once a day. I was just going out by myself and just riding, and I was just like, oh, actually, I'm getting back to like how I used to be. Like I'm not saying I was ever great, but I was all right. So I was getting back to where I like considered myself like able to push myself and
Yeah.
like go on group rides and be like, right, you're doing that. I want to go at that instead of just sitting in the background. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And
Yeah.
then
And yeah.
I was like, right, okay, that's that. And then luckily, for some reason, a girl I know from down here told me there was a trials rider in Pembroke Dock,
All right.
and I was like, that's like 5 miles from my house, and like we don't have trials riders around here, and somehow managed to get his number and all like that. And me and him been riding quite a lot, and he's good. He's like a good standard. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, he's a good standard to ride with. He pushes me a load. And then I put a Facebook status up talking about like anyone got a barn I can get. boy I was friends with in school just went, "I got this if you want it," and I was just like, "Oh right, okay." So then I was like, "This is like I've gone from like nigh on beginning of lockdown, like being like not really bothered if I don't ride my bike, to like, well, until last Wednesday when I broke my leg,
Yeah.
I was going gym 3 times a week, riding 3 times a week, like flat out, like in the barn, like every time. And like my plans were to go to one of the world rounds this year.
Oh yeah.
So it's a proper bummer that it's like,
It's once you get on that train, isn't it? I suppose once you've got the passion for it, and then you're progressing, then you start making plans and you start thinking, yeah, I'd like to do this and like to do that. And for me, it's kind of all video related usually, or
yeah.
certain moves or whatever. But yeah, if it's comp riding, then I was looking forward to the comp this weekend. I'm pretty gutted that I can't go. It was going to be my first one since 2009.
Oh mate, I'm gutted. Literally, I was in hospital and I was just like, "Can you just confirm with me that I won't be riding this weekend?"
I just need someone to put that in writing.
Yeah, I was like, she was, the woman who, well, not the woman, the bloke who came through with my X-ray, obviously hadn't seen me, and because of the state of my ankle, thought that I'd been in a road traffic accident.
Oh yeah.
That was the state of my ankle.
Oh.
So yeah, I was like, "Come on, if you just confirm for me that I won't be riding on the Sunday because I really want to go." But that was probably more gutting for me. Not like I practiced so hard and like in the gym and everything for like the last year, and my riding's improved tenfold and confidence
Yeah.
and moves, and like you can tell you're getting somewhere when you're like you'll just have a go. Like there's something which you're thinking, oh, that's quite big. But you're like, I'll just have a go. That's when you know you're sort of like pushing yourself and like that. And it was
And
getting,
especially if you're like not even thinking about it, you start doing things that you have never done before, but it feels like you can do it, and you've not even done it yet. You just start going, oh, I'll have a go at this, and yeah, and it starts happening. You just you're on a good path then when you've been riding for a fair bit, when you're on it properly.
mate, that's what I mean. And when you're on it, you like know your own level, and like I was starting to see stuff which I've seen for years and years and years. And you're thinking like when you look at it, you're like, I'd love to do that. I've done all those moves in like the last year in my hometown. I've done all the stuff which I thought like, oh, I'd love to do that one day. That's massive.
Yeah,
And then this, which is not great, but it will be all right. Like my whole plan is literally just do everything they say and just get back straight back, be back.
yeah.
That's the luxury of having the barn though. Like most people miss out on a winter of riding, whereas like I'm just gonna literally just go barn every night again.
That's the dream, having an indoor place to ride when the weather's awful. And I feel like quite often you have to organise so much. And I've got kids as well, and I've got the job, and then you will just find like, oh, I can ride Wednesday and Friday evening, and those are the only free times I've got. And it gets to Wednesday and it's raining, and it's just like, so sometimes I feel like you have to coordinate everything to get out, and then if it rains as well, and it's proper raining, then you can't go out either. So the indoor place that's the dream.
Oh mate, literally, it's so good. And I was working like, well, not like away, but working like I don't know, 40 miles away on like a big engineering site up there. And they were awesome, and they went and helped me with loads of pallets, wood, everything, all like buildings and all. We're like, do you want this in the back of the van? It goes. So like everything from there. We got massive train sleepers, everything in there. Like people have just helped give me and all like that. So I haven't had to like fork out. Like the barn's not cost me a penny. It's amazing.
Oh, cool.
But like I've offered the owner money, wine, like present.
He just doesn't know what it means to you.
No, yeah, because they're like what's the word? Farriers, like with the horseshoe people.
Oh yeah,
So like for them, they're just like, oh well, I got 8 of them or whatever. Like they just
yeah,
think it's quite a common thing, don't they, farmers and all. Whereas
yeah,
like for me, it was like almost like life changing to have a facility where I could go ride my bike, like you said, no matter what. You don't have to align all the gods together to be able
yeah.
to go out and ride your bike.
it's like saying, oh, I've got a gym in my background and you can use it because I don't use it. That's kind of the same sort of thing, isn't it?
Yeah, man.
If you're into the gym,
Yeah.
having all the tools. So how I wanted to ask as well, how do you stay motivated at this time when you're injured and you know it's going to be a while? I'm in the same boat. It's such a stupid little injury, but it might be 6 weeks, and after that there might be surgery, which means it's longer. And basically, I've just stubbed my thumb. But until my thumb can grip on some handlebars, I can't ride my bike. But you're kind of going to go through times where you wish you could go out on your bike, but you need to keep yourself motivated and keep yourself focused. And do you find that it's completely in the forefront of your mind and like, I need to be eating right because that's going to get me healthy as soon as possible? Or do you push it away and preserve it, knowing that you're going to come back to it later, kind of thing?
It's just the only thing I really think about at the moment. Like obviously because I'm full on like bedbound at the moment. All I do is just like I have my exercises, which I do, stretching, food, and all I do is just watch videos of biking. I just know what is like you said, it's the forefront. It's all I want to do and go back and do.
Yeah.
Right. It's one of those. I've got like addictive personality. If I put it to one side, I'll end up getting addicted to football or whatever again. And
Yeah, you
I've
got another passion going on or whatever.
yeah, I've pushed so far with biking in the last year, but it's just stupid if I don't at least just go. Like I'm not saying I'd ever do any good at a world round. I'm 100% confident I'd five every section, but like it's just one of those things that I really wanted to go to, and
Yeah.
like I'm just going to go anyway. Like I don't really care what anyone else thinks. I'm just going.
And no matter what, even if you were five in every section, you'll be getting over something and you'll be enjoying it, won't you? So it's still worth it.
Mate, 100%. And plus, not many people can go and say, like, whatever sport they've done, you've competed at the highest possible level. Like, like whether I go and do absolutely awful, you still are still the highest possible level you can compete in at
Yeah.
trials. Like, which I think is pretty cool anyway.
Yeah.
Like, like I said, I'm like the new system's a bit more generous. Like, I might get over the first rock anyway, but
That's kind of how I was treating the comp of the weekend, because the last comp I went to would have been a national, and I was on a 24-inch street bike, but I'd always feel like I'd rather do badly at red than do well at blue. Um, and I'd probably equally do as bad on blue anyway, just because I won't be used to riding for that length of time. You know, with street riding, you do like two things and then you have a rest kind of thing.
yeah,
But yeah, I'd just be really chuffed if I got to the end of any section without five in it, because it
that's
was nationals, so the level was high and it was red. So
it's like personal, isn't it? Like you don't care whether you come last, but to you, you know that like that's a good standard, and if you've done that amount of riding, you're chuffed in yourself, which is all I care about.
yeah. Although equally, I was looking forward to competing with the positive scoring system, because I felt like at least I'll feel better about it, because I have been to comps before and I have fived. I'm pretty sure I have fived every section, and it's a bit like someone knocking you down continuously. Like, oh, I know you've put all this effort in and you've practiced and you've got everything ready, you've turned up and you've done this, but you've got nothing. And
Yeah,
that kind of led me away from comps because of
nah,
yeah, because of getting nowhere with it. Whereas at least with the positive scoring system, you can go, this is how many points I've got, because you would get through stuff in the section. Otherwise, you're competing on the wrong level, aren't you?
yeah.
But
I think
yeah,
it's I think it's much, much, much better. Like we done the one last year at Charlie's place. I did, and like you get awarded for having a go.
yeah,
Whereas like before, if you have a go and you fall off, that's it, game over. You're getting a five, so you might as well put your foot down anyway and get out. Where you
and it's
get,
encouraging the
mate, dabbing, mate, dabbing. Oh my god, it looks so awful. Like I got like friends and family or whatever who I show trials, and then you show them a video or whatever of a comp, and like they're just like, why has he got his foot down? It's supposed to be biking,
yeah.
but yeah, less of the dabs, more people having a go at stuff. That's what we want to see. Right.
Yeah. What's next? You're obviously looking forward to riding again as soon as possible, but
Yeah. To be honest with you, like the next thing I'm just thinking about now is in like, well, on the 7th, if I get the cast off and I get stitches out, but it means I can go to the gym. Because at the moment it's actually stairs down to my gym, and like you'd be a brave man to walk down them at the best of times.
Just can't physically get to there yet.
Yeah, never mind on a set of crutches. So I'm pretty bedbound at the moment, to be honest with you. Like I get out of bed to go to the toilet, or like literally just to change rooms for a change of scenery. But
yeah,
like, I don't do anything really. Like today's probably been the most I've moved about, to be fair, and it's like felt a lot better today.
Yeah. One thing the doctor said to me was that stretching was fine. So even just stretching, I mean, I don't know how old you are. Are you in your 20s still?
28 I am, yeah.
28, yeah. So I'm 38. So when I say stretching actually does quite a lot for me. It's a sort of thing that I have to do it, especially after riding, because I get like recurring back problems that come back. But stretching is definitely good. And I'm looking forward to getting back in the gym as well. I can't really do anything with my upper body, but I think 2 weeks time I could go to the gym and I could do leg stuff.
100%, yeah.
Yeah, if I can without it hurting my ribs, that is.
Oh yeah, I forgot you done your rib as well.
So it'll just be a while before I do any weights, upper body weights. You haven't got any weights at home then? You can't be like lying in bed, like bench pressing.
During lockdown, like we got given, like me and my mate, which also ends up going out in the barn. We had like 200 odd kilos worth of weights and a squat rack and everything. So like that barn just got used every single night, man. It was unbelievable. But obviously that stuff had to go back to the local gym and all then. So.
Oh right. He was alone, was it?
Yeah.
If I see any riding content I think you might be interested in, then I'll send it over your way.
Yeah, cheers, dude. I'll be bored to tears otherwise. I've watched the same video about 3 times and it's an hour long. One of the world rounds.
Oh yeah.
And I just keep
analysing everything they do.
Pretty much. It was how I was like when I was like football as a kid. Like if you watch stuff enough, you do pick up habits.
Yeah.
Like I'm not saying if I watch Jack Carthy do like a 70-inch hook like 100 times I'm gonna be able to do it, but you do watch their technique and you learn stuff just by watching.
Yeah, I do think. Yeah, same again. Kind of when I was little and learning how to do stuff when I first started riding, then you set the bar, don't you, on what's possible, and then people do occasionally like raise the bar on what's possible, and all of a sudden, lots of people are doing that same stuff, and it's like an eye opener. Every so often, someone just goes, oh no, you don't need to restrict yourself to that. You can just do it like this and you can get to up there and you just, it just becomes the new normal. I ride with people and they're kind of like on the same level as me and they've been riding like 3 years and just like, oh my God. But but there's certain stuff, it's like reminding yourself that that move, they're on the same level. But if you spend all your time doing one thing, then you're good at that one thing. Whereas I feel like I'm kind of probably like mediocre at most things, but I try pretty much.
You're a good all-rounder, dude.
I like doing a bit of natural as well.
Yeah, so me, you, and Shrewsbury, I know who really like riding like natural on those sort of bikes.
It's only because I've never had a bike with no seat. It's something else I'm thinking about at the moment. I quite like the idea of getting one now and feeling like starting again and learning moves on a high bottom bracket bike. So I might do that.
That'd be awesome.
It'd be like starting again. I'd just be like just getting into trials. So yeah, I'm going to try that when I can ride again.
Yeah, because I've seen like obviously Iwan, him on a 20-inch. He's amazing on a 20-inch.
Yeah. Cool. Well, I think it is probably painkiller time.
Yeah, I was going to say.
But yeah, thanks very much for your time. And I wish you a speedy recovery and all that.
Cheers, dude, and you.
Yeah. I'll speak to you again soon.
All right, see you later. Bye.
All right. Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for that, Ewan. It was really good to chat. I'm glad to see that you're not letting it get you down. You can't. But you're going to get injured at some point, like we said. And just because you can't ride your bike right now doesn't necessarily mean you can't do things in your life and put effort into things in your life that are going to help make time for riding later on. Things you put in place now might make you a better rider later on. You've got to focus your energy on something. You've got to make sure you get outside and stay positive, stay motivated. Make sure you're concentrating on your health, eating the right food. You want to heal up as best as possible, as soon as possible. And if you get given advice for doing exercises, do them, because it makes so much difference. You can make a long-term plan. If you're going to be out of the game for a couple of months, then what do you want to achieve in a year? What do you want to achieve in the next 6 months? If it's just for fun, that's great. Just carry on having fun. Just make sure you're healthy and able to do it. When I snapped the ligaments in my right knee, it was at Radfest in 2011, I wasn't in the best state of my life. I wasn't that fit. Afterwards, I wasn't really that surprised that I snapped the ligaments in my knee. Straight after that, I started having loads of physio, started putting more effort into my fitness. And then as the years count on, then you need to be putting that effort in to your fitness to be able to do things like riding and to be able to progress and get stronger. You need to be putting the work in. And people like Jack Carthy really show how far you can go if you're putting the effort in early on. It really is a young person's game because you don't need to be on top of your game, you don't need to be that fit, and you can get to an alright level. But imagine what would happen if you put in the extra effort. Anyway, that's some of the messages I wanted to get across. Thanks for joining me. Keep enjoying riding, and I'll see you again soon. Bye!